What's going on, Ramley? Welcome to the Ram Skinny here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports. Here's your daily dose of Los Angeles Rams news on a Wednesday. Coming at you with my man Skinny T. We are approaching game week, getting closer. Jumping on here just to talk all things Rams, obviously. Clean bill of health, Skinny, for the Rams. Going into practice, which I believe they're actually practicing right now, or wrapping practice up maybe as we record this, and no injuries on the injury report. Stafford a full go. Alaric Jackson's supposed to be a full go. So real quick before we kind of get into what segment we're doing, which is the buying or selling the hype train of specific players, just your quick thoughts on clean bill of health for this Rams team.
It's incredible. That's great news. I mean, pretty fantastic. And you can't ask for a better start to the season. I mean, you think about some of the years prior where, it's not as clean bill of health heading right into the season. So can't ask for anything better. Hey, we're jumping right into football today, guys. Football.
That's
today.
right. Well, hey, real quick though, you wore the shirt today. Let's see.
Yeah.
We teased yesterday about Nebraska.
Corn to be wild. It's a dad joke.
Love
it's got kind of a pickle Rick kind of vibe on it. So new season of Rick and Morty. If you guys are fans, check it out. I haven't started it
that
yet.
Show's still on? Or
Yeah.
still like making new shows, I guess?
Yeah, new season just came out.
Wow.
HBO Max.
Okay. Excellent. I mean, I'm repping our Hate Us Because You Ain't Us LAFB shirt. Any USC fans out there? We also got Rams merch. Make sure to check out the LAFB shop. Quickly, title sponsor of the show, our new friends at Sleeper. NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to win 1,000 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Football has never been more exciting than it is now, with players like, I'm not even going to say, they got me reading CJ Stroud. That's who the Rams are going up against. We're not obviously talking about him, but Pat Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, you know it. And you can pick the stats for these stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more options for up to 1,000 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right. You could win big. Make sure you use the promo code RAMS, LAFB, and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. So go download the Sleeper app, either in the App Store or Google Play. Go to sign up. When you enter your first deposit, $5, $10, whatever it may be, make sure to enter Rams LAFB and you'll get a match. So if you put in $5, you're only going to get $5. If you put in $100, you're going to get $100 free dollars to play with. See Sleeper's terms and conditions for details. But tons of fun. We'll go through we'll do maybe some actual picks, Skinny, on our live tomorrow.
Sounds great.
Get you back on the Sleeper app. We'll throw up our little form here to get you everyone, knowing what to pick and whatnot. But Matthew Stafford, I haven't even looked yet. We'll do it tomorrow live. But over under, I'm guessing they're setting it at like a 1.5 touchdowns, so more or less. Puka Nacua, it's probably in the like 65.5 yards, more or less. Kyren Williams touches. Touchdowns. We'll do all that tomorrow. But make sure today, if you want, head to Sleeper or download the Sleeper app. Use promo code RAMS LAFB to get that match bonus. All right, Skinny. So let's start on offense, and let's start with the running back room. Who do you think going into the season of the three? I mean, obviously Kyren's the starter, followed by Blake Corum, followed by the great rookie that they got, Jarquez Hunter. But who do you think has the most hype coming out of training camp, and are you buying or selling?
Well, I'm hyping Jarquez Hunter, which I'm buying. But I think the most hype, just because he had a really fantastic preseason, is Blake Corum.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not buying Blake Corum quite yet. I think, I've brought it up over and over and over again. Can he hang on the field as a pass blocker? And that's my reasoning. That's it. He's got great vision. He can hit the hole. He's Kyren Williams clone. Should be good. But I just got to see that proof. What do you say?
Yeah, I think if I'm doing like buy or sell, I am selling anyone cutting into Kyren Williams' workload. I think we've been told by McVay and the staff this training camp that even though, and they've said this in obviously not verbatim in a very different way, but even though Kyren Williams has a nice, fresh new payday, 3-year deal, the goal is to kind of save him some and not have him as much wear and tear, and being able to utilize Blake Corum more and hopefully Jarquez Hunter more. And until I see it, I'm selling it. Now, it'll be better for this team if that's the case, if you can reserve Kyren some throughout the season. But again, Blake Corum was a rookie last year, but every week it was like, oh yeah, we're going to get him in. We're going to get him action. And it just never happened. So until we see it, I'm selling anyone cutting into Kyren Williams' workload. So if you're a fantasy owner, buy high on Kyren Williams, because as of now, I still think he's your bell cow who's going to be getting 20 plus touches a game until we see otherwise.
Kyren had the most snaps played of any running back across the board. Nobody played more than him last year at all.
Wow.
Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, your true bell cows, not even touching him. 888 snaps, I think, total across all phases of the game. So, you got to hope that somebody's going to get in there more. And, the offense is changing. That's an interesting thing. We're talking about 12 personnel. We're talking about Tutu Atwell. We're talking about Davante Adams in there. This offense is going to look different than it ever has before. So it's my top curiosity. So I'm glad we started with that one.
Yeah, exactly. So either way, I think the room is really good. It's just how is it going to look on game days? We'll get our first taste, obviously, against Houston this weekend. Let's jump over to receiver, then I'll let you pick a position group after that. Let me pose the question like this. Who are you buying more, Puka Nacua or Davante Adams?
I'm going to keep buying Puka Nacua stock. I think that Davante Adams brings something really fascinating to this offense that they haven't had. Now, they had Cooper Kupp next to Puka Nacua. We were always wondering, when was it going to look, when was it going to have this tandem feel to it, this 1A, 1B feel to it? And it always felt like there was a 1 or there was a 2, and they kind of switched off here and there, but it never worked together pretty synergistically like we wanted to see.
Word.
Thank you. The diction doctor.
Diction doctor, baby.
And so I think Davante Adams is going to bring a different element, but I think Puka Nacua is going to be the chief beneficiary of what Davante adds. Now, I think in terms of stats and fantasy and things like that, Davante Adams might actually score higher in that, because I think he's going to get those high leverage downs in the red zone, third down stuff. But just in terms of who I think will be the more efficient receiver, who's going to add more to the offense, I got to buy Puka Nacua. You got to buy Puka Nacua. I mean, 2 great years back to back, 5th rounder, buy low.
Yeah, or buy high, I guess you're saying.
We're still buying high. Yeah.
I looked at what I should have looked at before the ad read, but on Sleeper, so you guys can get this on the Sleeper app, against Houston, Davante Adams, more or less 59.5 receiving yards, Puka Nacua 73.5. So, the Sleeper lines are favoring Puka Nacua, obviously, in that regard. So overall for the season, I tend to agree with you. I think there's a lot of hype about Davante Adams and joining the Rams. Obviously, even in a year that felt like a down year for him, between the Jets and the Steelers, still finished with 1,000 yards. So still had statistically a good year. And I think he's going to be really good in this offense and a great fit for McVay. Again, though, we need to see it first. I've seen Puka Nacua in this offense with my own eyes now 2 years in a row. I've seen him with Matthew Stafford. I've seen Matthew Stafford key in on him and choose Puka Nacua over Cooper Kupp. Until I see Matthew Stafford choose Davante Adams over Puka Nacua, or split it kind of evenly between 2 1A, 1B receivers, I'm buying Puka as well. Got it.
All right.
So we're in agreement there.
So here's the next one, and I flip-flopped, and you know this. I flip-flopped. I'm going to admit it. I don't know because I haven't seen it. I'm a see it, eye test kind of guy. Let the numbers tell the rest of the story. Tutu Atwell. There's no hype train for Tutu Atwell.
Ooh.
Let's be real. But I'm buying Tutu Atwell this year. And I was talking about it a little bit. I was listening to some Robert. I am. Okay. I was listening to some athletic football show preview. Robert Mays was talking up how having a guy like Davante Adams, they used to have Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, doing kind of similar things, clearing out the intermediate. But now you add this kind of field stretching element with Davante Adams, different skill set than Cooper Kupp, changes the offense. Is this it? Is this the year for Tutu Atwell? I'm starting the hype train, the Tutu train. I'm on it. I'm on it again, only to get my heart broken. I'm open to it though.
I love it. So Sleeper has him at 24.5 yards for this weekend's game against Houston. Yeah.
Would you buy that? Would you take that
more or less?
That Sleeper? More, yeah, over. Would you take the over?
So, like, when you try to that's 2 catches, essentially, right? Especially for the type of routes that Tutu usually runs. But conventional wisdom tells me, like, I haven't seen that consistently. So going into week 1, I probably won't put that on when we do our full picks tomorrow. I probably wouldn't put that on my card, but I want to. I mean, that's 2 catches. That's how they get you in these games because you think it's so easy. So I might go less, but it may be one of those games when you look at, Stingley and some of these great Texans defenders, they're going to be so keyed in on Nacua and Adams that maybe a guy like Tutu can have a good game and finally be that wide receiver 3 that takes the pressure off of wide receiver 1 and 2 needing to do so much. So we'll get to that more on our preview.
Yeah, definitely.
What position group you want to hit next?
So I maybe have 2 more on offense. I'm going to stick with the weapons and go Terrence Ferguson. We saw him, he didn't play much in the preseason. He had that one really phenomenal catch in the last game. Is there a hype train? And are you buying or selling Terrence Ferguson?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think the hype train is still stemming from the draft, him being, the first pick for this Rams team in the 2025 draft in the second round. And we saw in that final game when you got to go in and make some plays. So I think that kind of finally stoked a little bit of the hype train again, just because he's, been either hurt in training camp or just kind of a non-factor. So I do think there is definitely maybe hype's not the right word, but some excitement again. I'm selling, and this is not to say selling like on his career that wasn't a good draft pick or is not going to be good. I'm just selling in early season impact, I guess. Maybe that's a cop-out answer. But we've said it many times, like this is clearly a Tyler Higbee, Colby Parkinson, tight end 1, tight end 2, until proven otherwise. Davis Allen right now, I think, is even above Terrence Ferguson as well on the depth chart. So I think it's just going to be a while until we see Ferguson really have an impact. Doesn't mean he won't get like any snaps ever. So I don't want that. I don't want a Rams fan all of a sudden like, look, you guys were wrong. He came in on a play and got a look or got a target. I just don't think he'll have an impact until maybe midway through the season. So I'm selling the hype for now just because, the hype isn't going to amount to anything until maybe November.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to make out of him specifically as a player, but let me talk about McVay a little bit and what we know about McVay. We know a lot more about McVay than we know about Terrence Ferguson at this point, right?
We do.
All right. So they're changing up the running game. And for a year, we were pounding the table. You got to run the ball. You got Kyren Williams. Let's go. Let's do this. We don't see it. It doesn't happen. We're just waiting for it. And now we're fast forward a year or so, and they're saying all this 12 personnel is going to infiltrate the Rams offense again. Last season, huge uptick, up to 15%, 12 personnel. Well, that was like 27th best in the league or highest in the league. Yeah. So without Cooper Kupp, does that change the stripes? Does he go more 12 personnel? I have to sell because I'll believe it when I see it. And what we're saying, what you just said, and what we have been saying about the depth chart and where he is, and kind of the development and how long it takes tight ends to get up to speed on all aspects of the game. I gotta sell.
Horrible timing for me to take a sip of my water.
Sorry.
Yeah, totally agree. So I think we're in the same boat there. All right, what's your last offensive group you want to talk about buying or selling?
Well, it's mostly Coleman Shelton, which I don't think there's a hype train necessarily about him specifically, but are we buying offensive line vastly improved? I've pointed it out several times. Matthew Stafford, the third most hit quarterback, one of the highest pressure rates last year. Everybody loves talking about, they were a play away from, hosting NFC Championship game. Well, that was Jalen Carter just blowing by Bo Limmer, blowing by Kevin Dotson, and getting to Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Are we buying this offensive line or selling?
Well, I think Bill Plaschke was buying Coleman Shelton and maybe the offensive line in his latest column.
Read it. He's saying they're going to the Super Bowl. No, doesn't matter. Matthew Stafford, Alaric Jackson does not matter. Secondary does not matter. Going to the Super Bowl.
But I read kind of your commentary on it. I haven't read the whole piece. Was it like a fluff piece or legit like column?
I mean, I would call it, he's buying the ultimate hype train. He's buying every aspect of the hype train. A little bit kind of with where the NFC is. Are the Niners very good? Are the Eagles going to take a step back? I'm predicting the Lions are going to take a bit of a step back. Mm-hmm. Who is the class of the NFC? And other people have said it as well, that the Rams are the class. They are the team to beat. They are the most complete team in the NFC. And I can buy into that a bit, but I'm not. I can't get on that hype train. Let's get to the playoffs, and then I'll say I'll give my 2 cents on the Super Bowl.
No, it's just interesting because Plaschke I think is a legend in LA sports. He's been around forever. I've met him a couple times. So I mean, he's been a legend with the LA Times, but typically, at least as of late, I feel like from my vantage point, when I read his stuff, he has a much more like kind of, negative's kind of a mean word, but he definitely has more of a pessimistic view on things. So it's just very like alarming almost, of just like full positive fluff piece of like, I don't care about any of the actual like aspects of the team. Rams are going all the way. So, hey, that's fun. That's great. To your question, this is are you buying the hype of the offensive line? And
you can just call me on the carpet and say there is no hype. It's a push. It's a nothing. It's a
well, yeah, I think that's probably a better way to put it. It's kind of a push. I don't think there's hype necessarily, but there's definitely belief, right? I think there's belief. I mean, you don't think this is even a playoff team. If someone, I'm not saying you, but if someone thinks this is going to be a bottom 5 offensive line, then you're probably not talking about a playoff team when your quarterback has back issues. But I will buy the fact that I have confidence this offensive line will be good enough. Will they be one of the great offensive lines? I don't know, just because there's so many question marks about Alaric Jackson's health, about is Coleman Shelton truly going to be an upgrade at the center position? I mean, the Rams let him walk away because they didn't want him. And then they almost were desperate, said, no, you're better than what we got. Come back. So I think there's just questions. Obviously, Dotson, Avila, and Havenstein are your 3 stalwarts who, as long as healthy, I think those guys are all very solid in the NFL. And the other 2 positions are just like, we'll wait and see. But I think there's enough there that I'm buying the adequacy of that unit to propel this team to be, a contending team. So I don't know if I'm buying the hype. You kind of answered it for me. I don't think there's necessarily hype, but I'm buying that this unit's good enough.
Yeah. So much of it hinges on the line. So always. we gotta buy it. we gotta put some stock in it.
I mean, the last 2 years that the Rams have had their horrendous starts to the season, a lot of that can really hinge on the health of the offensive line. That's when all those injuries piled up and they were a turnstile. And then they got their runs both years. Obviously, Kyren Williams came back, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, those guys came back also kind of late. But they finally had like some continuity in offensive line. So that's more the big thing, Skinny, right? Like, can these 5 play all season? Then I feel good. This is going to be a solid group, not a top 5 unit, not probably a top 10 unit, but a solid group if these 5 can all stay healthy all year. Are we going to see the most combinations of the offensive line in the entire NFL like we did last year, that's where then you start raising questions. But for now, I'm buying.
Coleman Shelton, the only guy out there with a clean bill of health, really. Actually,
hey, the availability is the best skill set, so then that's worth the price of admission, I guess.
And that's a reason to buy Coleman Shelton, I'll say.
There you go.
He might be there the whole season.
Absolutely. Whole reason to buy. So, all right, you want to move over to defense?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's just, I think this is an interesting talking point. Tons of hype around the defensive line. This is the most hype unit of this team by far. You have not just Rams fans, not just Rams journalists, Rams content creators, whatever, but you have national everybody talking about like, this might be the best defensive line in football. When you look at Jared Verse, Braden Fiske, Kobe Turner, Byron Young, plus the depth, plus Puka Nacua in the run defense, all this stuff. Are you buying the hype of the defensive line? The young but hungry defensive line.
I gotta. It would be dumb not to. But I'm gonna divide this idea into two. And here's the most hype out there. This is the high water mark of hype. I think maybe across the team. Puka Nacua fixes the run defense. That's the hype. And I don't think I'm not buying that. I don't think he can single-handedly fix one of the worst units in the league last year. Big improvement, but is he, the next coming of Willie Rolfe? Is he a defensive lineman or offensive lineman? Anyway.
Good question.
Anyway, next coming. I can't think of a great. Calais Campbell is the next coming of Calais Campbell, my favorite run defender.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm not buying it.
So
but everybody else, here's the thing: is they were a tremendously healthy unit across the board last year. There were really no injuries of note that I can remember to that line. Braden Fiske was hurt at the very end of the year. So that's a big question mark, but you can't not buy this.
Yeah. I got to buy the hype for how dominant they felt last year. They still underperformed in terms of sack totals. We've talked about it a bunch, obviously Braden Fiske led the team with 8 sacks. Kobe Turner had just under that. Obviously, Jared Verse won Defensive Rookie of the Year, but only actually had 4.5 sacks. Byron Young, a little bit more than that. I think Byron Young 5 or 6 or somewhere in that realm. But you had all that intensity and all those pressures without the sack production. And so you think all of that is going to even out. Like everyone says, like when you have these like crazy good years, everyone is like, okay, they're going to kind of come back to the mean. Well, the Rams defensive line had like a crazy good years, but didn't actually capitalize on all that. So they're going to come back to the mean of actually like capitalizing on some of those pressures and some of that dominance that they had at the point of attack. So I'm buying the hype of this team. I agree with you. I don't think Puka Nacua single-handedly completely overhauls and fixes the run defense. He certainly is a tremendous outfit to make it better and make it more competitive. But the intensity of just the pass rush alone, I'm buying 100%. I can't wait to see it. Yeah. I can't wait to see Jared Verse push double-digit sack. He'll double his sack total, I think, in the first 8 weeks. I think he'll be close to 8 sacks halfway through the season. I'll put that out there right now. And what'll be interesting, Skinny, and if people take the blueprint of the Eagles, is we talked a lot about Brandon Staley, and obviously he had a great tenure with the Rams, not so great after, but his defense, that cover two high safety defense, like basically begged offenses to run the ball. Like, you're not going to beat us over the top. You're not going to have the explosive play. Run the football, beat us hat on a hat. The Rams defense this year is going to be similar, but for different reasons. Like, why would you pass the football when we have these pass rushers just barreling down on your quarterback? Like, you should run the football and save your quarterback. That's what the Eagles did. That's why they went and got Puka Nacua to help when teams do that. Will it work? But all that being said, I'm buying the defensive line for sure.
Yeah, and just to go over it, Braden Fiske, 8.5 sacks, Kobe Turner, 8 sacks, Byron Young, 7.5 sacks, Jared Verse, 4.5, Michael Hoyt, 3.0, Michael Hoyt gone from the team. Interesting kind of side note there. People in the know are kind of talking about who's that guy, that third pass rusher on the edge, which is an interesting question. But you know what I find really interesting and a hype that I will buy on the interior is how Puna Ford will actually help Kobe Turner. I'm super high on Kobe Turner. I'm on that hype train too. I don't know if anybody else is as high as I am on Kobe Turner. Really the heart and soul of the defense, I feel like. Really smart guy and just loves football. So Kobe Turner, buying that hype. Here's my next one on defense. Lots of hype around this guy. Oh, sorry.
Real quick before you get to your next one. Speaking of hype, speaking of buying, if anyone out there is looking at hiring, you got to always find the right candidates. And we've hired here at LAFB, and it's, sometimes it's a cycle trying to find the right guys. The skinny teas don't just grow on trees. You got to go through a process to find the right person for your business. And ZipRecruiter is the absolute best in the business at finding you the right candidates. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. What's worse than trying to find and fill a position that takes you months? If you can find a quality candidate in the first day, it's going to save you money. It's going to make your business better. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/audio, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio right now, you can try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. All right, Skinny, go ahead.
This guy I feel like is getting a ton of hype on defense. Nate Landman. Are you buying or selling the man? The land shark.
Definitely a lot of hype. We were at training camp, heard it from everyone's mouth about him, about his leadership qualities and his potential with the team, his defensive smarts in learning the defense.
What a lot of people talked about is his want and desire to knock the ball out. Peanut punch Tillman kind of style defense. Yeah,
absolutely. And Skinny, I'm going to buy because I have to buy because he is their best starting linebacker. There's no other option. Obviously, Omar Spates will start next to him, and you have Troy Reader, who's kind of the coach on the sidelines. But for this defense to function outside of the great defensive line we talked about, they're going to need Nate Landman to be the guy that's getting hyped up. And so I'll stay on the side of positivity and buy in it that it's going to work. But like, as you've said, there was a reason he was a free agent. There was probably a reason Atlanta didn't want to re-sign him. But I do think he will at least be, I'll say this, I'm buying because I think he will be better than what the Rams had last year. So I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro. I'm not saying he's going to be the next coming of Fred Warner. But I think regardless, he will be an upgrade of what the Rams had last year at the position. So for that, I'm buying the hype.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You almost got me there. I was that close. I was like, if he's better than Roseboom, I'll buy it. I'm not going to do it, though. I'm not going to settle for this. He's got to be better than Ernest Jones for me to buy this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm still hurt. I'm not.
I know. I am too.
One. I will. My heart has mended for Tutu Atwell, but it has not mended for Ernest Jones. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I think he can be solid. I'm going full sell. He's not gonna have the green dot by week 4.
Oh, okay.
Quentin Lake is gonna take over for that position again. That's where I'm going with it. I just have a hard time believing that former UDFA. Atlanta's defense is nothing special. It's not like they have like a room full of Fred Warners or Bobby Wagner's in his prime. I mean, it could be disastrous. And I'm not going to bet on that, but I'm not buying this. I'm
not buying the hype.
The dude does not abide. The dude does not abide.
Okay.
Oh, here's another movie I just watched, Uncut Gems. I understand this betting thing a lot more after watching Uncut Gems.
You just saw it for the first time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I heard it was like really intense and like kind of hard to watch. And those are not movies that like I like. And it was tough.
It's hard to watch just because you're like, what are you doing to your life? Like, stop while you're ahead. What are you doing? Like, but it's a great movie that obviously embodies the world of betting and why it's so dangerous.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I don't want to talk about it because
Fair enough.
it makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
not because I should root for this kind of guy. This should be like my guy for Ryan Anderson kind of thing, but I'm having a hard time with it.
Okay. I mean, hey, that's fair. Do you think it was a mistake the Rams took the green dot away from Lake and are going to Landman? Or do you think it's more of a personnel thing? It's just a lot easier to keep a linebacker on the field the whole time versus a nickel / safety.
I think the latter point. I think Quentin Lake is more than smart enough to wear it. I think he did a great job.
Yeah.
When he was asked about Landman, he was like, kind of a load off my plate, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
Maybe he was struggling. I don't know. So
Okay, so that being said, who are you buying on or not buying on the secondary? We'll end with the secondary. What are you buying or selling when it comes to the secondary group?
I'm going to buy Quentin Lake. I mean, that's I think he's the star there, literally and figuratively. That's another question. Talking about Ernest Jones is, does he have a contract? I mean, he's one of those 2022 guys that we've had so many questions about, and there was no talk about his contract. Well, there was all that Kyren Williams hype about his contract. So if I'm buying anybody, it's him. He plays so many positions. He's so versatile. He's so good at a lot of stuff, and he's been healthy a good amount of his career as well since his rookie year when he got hurt.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely buying Quentin Lake. Huge Quentin Lake guy. Got to re-sign him. Got to. I mean, that's one in my opinion you got to bring back more so. Obviously, the skill set and the versatility, but I think more so for like his locker room presence, his leadership, what he just brings to the field kind of as a leader, I think is one of those, I think is irreplaceable, but obviously it happens in the league all the time. You don't necessarily just sign leaders. You got to produce on the field, but I think he produces on the field too. So re-sign the guy. For me in the secondary, outside of Lake, that would be my buy, but just to be different, I'm selling Darius Williams.
Ooh.
And not in a bad way. I don't think he's going to be like awful. I don't think he's having like a down year. And there's not really any hype. So I know our initial kind of phrasing was like, are you buying or selling the hype? I mean, I feel like Darius Williams is a name that just has gone completely under the radar this training camp. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if it's a good thing that's just like, hey, show up to work, does his job. There's no reason to talk about this or that. Or if it's a bad thing because it's like, well, he's not really doing anything that good. We'll see if other guys end up kind of pushing him for that role. So I'm not selling in that I think he's like getting replaced or bad. I think I'm selling in the fact that like, is this guy the true CB1? Because technically on paper he is, right? It's him or Keller Witherspoon, whatever way you want to spin it, but it's probably him, Darius Williams. And so I'm selling that he is the true CB1, just because, we haven't really heard anything.
Yeah, he might be kind of the Calais Campbell of cornerbacks, where he just keeps playing into his 30s and doesn't kind of drop off at all. So maybe there's never any hype to buy or sell, but
which sometimes that's good. I mean, sometimes just show up, do your job, and stay out of the headlines or anything. Yeah. But had kind of a shaky year last year, up and down. So we'll see. I mean, he'll be on. What do you think? He'll be on Nico Collins week 1?
Well, that's an interesting question. Yeah, Nico Collins wasn't at practice today. I haven't heard anything more about that. But yeah, probably that makes sense. This team's got quality offense.
Yeah.
If their offensive line can hold up, we'll get into the preview. But yeah, Nico Collins sounds about right. So we will see. But we will be back tomorrow live. We're going to try 4 p.m. tomorrow. We'll probably play around with our Thursday live show. I know it's kind of, during the day, we want to test it out. Want to see that. See all you guys that were at work and jump in, hang out. So we'll preview the game live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time right here on the Rams LAFB YouTube channel. You can obviously rewatch it after or watch it on LAFBnetwork.com. Skinny, any final thoughts on buy or sell? I'm buying Caught Stealing. Go see Caught Stealing in theaters. Great movie. It's about a Giants fan, but You'll get over it.
And hey, it looks great. They were pushing it hard on College Football Saturday on ESPN. So I was like, that's my guy's movie.
Yeah.
Your buddy wrote it, right?
Yeah, Charlie Houston.
Yeah, fantastic. Can't wait to see it. So, well, there you go. Thank you all for hanging out with us. As always, watching the Rams Skinny here on the LAFB network. For Skinny T, I'm Ryan Dyer. We'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time, live right here on YouTube. See you all then.